Mario Kart games have had loads of secret myths in them. For example, there's a way to stay hidden from the blue shell in Mario Kart Double Dash. Then I just need to drive Mario and Luigi at the top of this bridge here. And now apparently they'll be hidden from the blue shell at this location. So now back to Wario, I'm just gonna throw the blue shell and it seemed to go just straight ahead. Oh, there it is. Okay, it came back around and there it goes again. And once again, that seems pretty hidden to me. Myth confirmed. And we're going to be testing these Mario Kart myths to see if they're true or false. Starting off with basic myths like you can push characters through the walls in Mario Kart 64's battle mode. I mean, this seems like a pretty easy one to test. I'm basically just going to hold forward, keep driving, and oh, there it is. Okay, I was about to say it doesn't look like it's working, but then he just fell through the wall. Damn. Myth confirmed. And as always, the myths are going to keep getting more wild as the video goes on, like unlocking Petey Piranha in Mario Kart Wii, or a way for 2 players to select the same character. But for now, the bullet bill item takes you further in last place than it would if you used it in first. Okay, so I'm just going to use the bullet bill right here at the start of the glider section. And okay, I went about that far. Now let's see what happens if I use it in 12th place. Then once again, I'm going to use it at the glider section. And okay, we're going. It looks like it's already further than I was last time. We're around the corner. We're going through the finish line. Oh, that is definitely way more. That was like double the distance. Myth confirmed. Donkey Kong has an image of his mouth on his foot. What? Okay. I'm just gonna select Donkey Kong. And yo, I mean, his tie is kind of blocking it, but bro, to be honest, that kind of looks like his mouth. Well, I wanted to get to the bottom of this, so I looked more into it on the internet and found the 2 textures side by side. And sure enough, for some reason, yeah, they have DK's mouth texture on his foot as well. Huh. Myth confirmed. There's a secret feather item in Mario Kart 64. The feather was an item that was only in Super Mario Kart and in the battle mode of Mario Kart 8, but other rumors speculated that it was also somehow hidden in Mario Kart 64 too. This was due to many screenshots, promotional material, and even live gaming events that show the feather as an item, but in game, no one could find it. So what's the deal with this thing? Is it just a super rare item to find? Is it hidden somewhere in the game's files? Or do you need to hack the game to use it? Well, turns out the feather was in the beta of this game, which was where all the screenshots were from. However, by the game's release, the item was scrapped for unknown reasons actually. So it's not in the final game at all. Myth busted! Now before we test some of the crazier myths later in this video, we have to finish busting the basic ones first. Like how there's item boxes hidden underneath the donut battle arena. So I'm just gonna select the big donut here, and then apparently you should see these item boxes right around where the yellow and green fences meet here. And you can kind of see into the void, and apparently I should just see a few item boxes. Oh, look at that. There they are, the 2 item boxes that are just under the course. But sure enough, there's hidden item boxes under this map. Myth confirmed. You can hit yourself with a blue shell if you're in first place. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a bit of a lead here as Donkey Kong, first of all. Then I'm gonna try to get a blue shell as Bowser. Now all that's left to do is just pass Donkey Kong like that. As you can see, now I'm in first place. And let's see what happens when I use this. Oh my god, you betrayed me. It really just hits yourself? That's kind of funny. Myth confirmed. There was a canceled 3D Mario Kart game for the Game Boy Advance. Now in 2015, a very interesting video was uploaded on the internet. It was this guy Steven over here playing a never before seen supposedly cancelled Mario Kart game called Mario Kart XXL. Now the ROM wasn't available to the public, so you couldn't play it for yourself for the longest time. Until recently, that is, because the organization Forest of Illusion got a copy of the ROM and made it available to play for anyone. It had 3D character graphics and a pretty impressive looking setting for the Game Boy Advance. But just what is this thing, and where did it come from? Well, this was a tech demo made by the German developer Denarius Entertainment Software. They pitched this demo to Nintendo back in 2004, but their idea was rejected. So yeah, this very well could have been a Mario Kart game at one point. Myth confirmed. You can skip a lap in Calamari Desert by using a star in the train tunnel. Alright, here we are in Calamari Desert. Now you just want to turn left at the train tracks here, and then you can go in this tunnel if you didn't know. But apparently, as soon as Lakitu comes down, you just use a star, reverse, and look at that! I just did a whole lap. What? You just said the second lap? Now I'm in first place. I went from 8th to 1st just like that. Damn, that's pretty cool. Myth confirmed. Also guys, I have many more myth videos planned for the future, so subscribe if you want to know when they release. You can unlock Donkey Kong Jr. in Mario Kart Double Dash. Donkey Kong Jr. is a character whose time in the Mario Kart series was very limited. He only appeared in the very first one and never returned. Except for Tour, but that doesn't count. However, there was hints that he was actually in Mario Kart Double Dash. When digging through the game's files, people found that there was a character file with the name DK_JR. But what hints at this even more is that there is an actual character picture with the entire model of Donkey Kong Jr. that matched exactly the style of all the other Double Dash characters. Well, that sounds all good then, so the question is, how do you play as Donkey Kong Jr.? Well, all the stuff I mentioned wasn't actually found in the main Double Dash game, but rather from a demo disc that featured an early build of Double Dash. So it looks like Donkey Kong Jr. was planned for the game, but was eventually replaced by Diddy Kong sometime in development as Donkey Kong's new partner. And in the main game, there's no way to play as Donkey Kong Jr. Myth busted! You can blow the dandelions by blowing into the Wii U's microphone. Alright, so if you go to the Thwomp's Ruins track, you can find a bunch of these dandelions right by the entrance. So I'm just gonna go close as I can to one, like here. Okay, nothing so far. Maybe I'll try this one over here. No, unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can actually do that, so myth busted. There was a cancelled Mario Kart game planned for the Virtual Boy. The myth started from this German magazine that had an article listing the many cancelled Virtual Boy games, one of which was called VB Mario Kart. Apparently, this game was cancelled due to the failure of the Virtual Boy itself. Also, online you can find a bunch of videos that show off the gameplay of this supposed cancelled Virtual Boy game. So what's the deal here? Was there actually a real game in development? Well, as for the videos, while people believed these to be real, it turned out they were just made in homebrew and not a part of any official Virtual Boy Mario Kart game. But while the videos were fake, the German magazine page was totally legit, so Nintendo did have plans to make it, but it got nowhere in its development. Myth confirmed. There's a secret Double Dash intro where Lakitu pulls out a fish. Alright, so if you didn't know, this is how Mario Kart Double Dash normally starts. Lakitu pulls up like a stoplight for the race like that. But apparently if you hold down X or Y, which is what I'm doing now, he'll pull out a fish instead. And look at that. Oh, that is a big fish. He couldn't even carry it up, but that's cool that actually happens. So, myth confirmed. There's a way to make your character tiny in Super Mario Kart. Alright, so here we are at the character select. Now apparently if you just hover over one of these characters, then click A and Y. Oh, look at that. He actually shrinks down. Oh, and whatever I hover over, now that character shrinks. Oh, and look how tiny he is in the race. Now I'm curious, does this have like the lightning properties where characters like bump you if you hit into them? Oh yeah, you get squished by anybody if you just run into them, bro. Okay, this is a myth you definitely don't want to do because it makes Mario Kart 10 times harder. But maybe try it out if you're looking for a challenge. Myth confirmed. There's a secret beach track hidden in Mario Kart DS. Now if you go online, you can find a bunch of videos of this course called Noko Noko Beach in Mario Kart DS. However, if you're familiar with the game, you'll know that no such course exists. There is no way to play or unlock such a track. So then what is this mysterious course then? Turns out, when people started to dig into the code of Mario Kart DS, they found a bunch of unused assets. There was a bunch of courses that were cut from the final game still in the files. However, they were often very glitchy and primitive. Except for one. Yup, that would be this Noko Noko Beach course that a bunch of talented modders dug up from the game's files, and they actually turned it into a working, playable Mario Kart DS course. It originally was going to be in the game, but got cut from the final release. So looks like this course was hidden in the game all along. Myth confirmed! You can unlock the secret character Petey Piranha in Mario Kart Wii. Petey Piranha is a pretty popular side character in the Mario series, and has actually appeared in Mario Kart before. However, he has only appeared one time in Mario Kart Double Dash. But supposedly, he was also a secret character in the following game, Mario Kart Wii. This started when people began digging through the game's files and found a character icon for, yup, Petey Piranha. Plus, the game already had Petey's kart in it, being the Piranha Prowler. And while this all sounds like Petey has to be in the game somewhere, right? Well, in practice, not so much. It is true that the character icon for Petey and two other enemies, which are Paratroopa and Hammer Bro, are in the game's files. That's really it though. The characters in any shape or form are not in the game's code. So it looks like these guys were planned, but were clearly cut out for some reason. Petey in particular looked to be a lot closer to making it in since he had his own kart already made. But in reality, you still can't play as him. Myth busted! 2 players can play as the same character in Mario Kart Wii. Okay, so apparently to pull this off, the first player needs to select the character. I'm gonna do Mario here. And then you need to deselect Mario, and then just move your cursor off. Then the second player has to select that same character, and then the first player has to back out of the menu, and then go back. And look at that, bro. We're both playing as Mario. So I'm just gonna select A on both controllers and it works. Damn. Yo, it's like the Marios move in the same spot. So look at the bottom one. He's on like a bike, but the top one's just floating above his cart. There we go. I'll have the other Mario floating above his blooper car while holding on to nothing. Oh, but actually in the race, they do go back to normal, so it just glitches in the menus like that. Look at this, it's Mario and Mario together. Now that is funny. Myth confirmed. There's a secret path through the cage in the Bowser's Castle track. So if you remember in my first Mario Myths video, I looked at an old Mario Kart 64 myth that claimed you could open up this cage to free the thwomp in there from the Bowser's Castle course. This was proven to be false though. But when the same Bowser's Castle track returned in Mario Kart Wii, rumors began that claimed you could open up the cage once again, but this time it would reveal an alternate path through the castle. The biggest reason for this was because of a video uploaded on YouTube that showed somebody playing through this alternate path in a part of the castle never seen before. However, this video was simply just a custom track that somebody modded into the game. I mean, it even says it right there in the video's title and even description. Yeah, I don't really know how people believe this one at all. But hey, someone's gotta bust these myths regardless of how obvious they are. That's my job after all. So, myth busted. Mission mode was originally gonna appear in Mario Kart Wii. Mission mode was a very popular feature in Mario Kart DS. It was a side game that had a bunch of mini challenges, like even boss fights, but obviously with a Mario Kart twist. However, it only appeared in that one Mario Kart game, which was kind of weird. It never came back because it was universally loved as an inclusion in that game. However, this guy Mr. Bean over here found what looked like an early version of mission mode hidden in the files of Mario Kart Wii. It took a while to find though, as he discovered it 9 years after the game's release. He explained that this mode was super well hidden in the game's files, as the game will normally never try and load the screens to access mission mode at all. So it was a challenge to even convince the game to load them. But when he did get this mode to work, it seemed very similar to the DS mission mode. There were a bunch of small challenges, like trying to perform a certain amount of drifts, or there were even some crazier ones, like full-on boss battles. So all of this shows that, yeah, mission mode was considered and was even in development for the final game, but was clearly removed. Myth confirmed. Sonic is a secret character in Mario Kart Double Dash. Yeah, you heard me right. Sonic in a Mario Kart game. Well, this whole thing started from an interview from, of course, the man himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, where he was talking about Double Dash, and in the interview he said, "We have come to the point where we will be making some drastic changes to the last games. Sonic the Hedgehog might be one of the drivers." Oh, and what a storm this simple quote caused. So many people thought Sonic was in the game. Myths, rumors, and secret ways of unlocking him began to spread, when in reality, Sonic was nowhere in the game's files at all. It's still pretty unclear why he said this in the interview. He was probably just joking around though, because he said right before they were making drastic changes to the game, so Sonic was likely just used as an extreme example. But like anything, people can take stuff way too seriously, which started this whole rumor. Myth busted!